Very good morning, students. Welcome back to today's class on strategic management. So, yesterday we discussed regarding company capabilities and we stopped at core competence. And today we'll start off with SWOT analysis. That's the next topic that we have got in our syllabus. So, the very name SWOT analysis is self-explanatory since we have been coming across this particular topic ever since we joined this course called MBA. From day one you have been listening to this particular course, to this particular acronym called as SWOT. So as all of you know, SWOT stands for strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. So strengths we already discussed in previous class. A strength can be a core competence. A strength can be an organizational resource. Similarly, every organization will also have certain weaknesses. Those particular areas are called as gray areas, or in business language, we call this particular weaknesses or gray areas as vulnerable areas. Those particular areas where an enemy or a competitor can take advantage, right? So such areas where a competitor can take advantage on you, or the vulnerable areas where we are exposed to competition and we are helpless and unable to protect ourselves. Such areas are called as weaknesses. And apart from weaknesses, we also have opportunities outside the organization. Now business opportunities are present. Now the organization needs to look into that. Along with the opportunities, there are certain threats, and if organization only is focusing on opportunity and if it's not focusing on threat, one find it becomes extremely difficult to survive in today's competitive world. So moving further, let us look at the SWOT analysis framework. So this is how the SWOT analysis framework appears to be, or SWOT analysis framework looks like. So we divide our SWOT into two: internal analysis and external analysis. Internal analysis is within the organization. So within the organization, we focus on the strengths and weaknesses, organization strength and organization weaknesses. Similarly, outside the organization, in the external environment, we have opportunities and threats. So organization needs to scan. Right, in the environmental scanning, what an organization does is organization scans for opportunities and threats, and then it has to make a match. Right, now what is this particular match that an organization has to make? Match the strength with opportunity, using the organizational strength, exploit this particular opportunity and overcome the threats. Parallelly, whatever weakness we have got, now these are the areas where this particular threat is going to impact. So decrease this particular weakness or lessen the weakness. Right? Weakness should be minimized. Now that is the apt word or exact word that needs to be used. Strengths need to be maximized. Strengths need to be enlarged. Now organization can have multiple strengths. So organization needs to focus on this particular areas, and organizations need to minimize this particular strength. So today in the corporate world, we have got enough of success stories where organizations happen to turn their weakness into strength and went on to build great organizations. At one point of time, whatever were the weaknesses for those organizations, those vulnerable areas where they happen to lose out to the competitors, now those areas organizations happen to put special focus. Those areas organization has allotted certain resources, came out with concrete strategies, and with the help of this particular concrete strategies and resources, they happen to turn these weaknesses into strength. Today, for some of the organization, now that particular part which was called as a weakness has become the core strength. That has become the core, competence. Okay. So weaknesses can be turned around. Weaknesses can be turned around. Similarly, when you do not know what your strength is and how important your strength is. Similarly, when you do not protect your strength, or when you do not focus on that, your strength can become a weakness. We similarly have good number of examples, where the strength of an organization turned into a weakness also, right? Okay, so organization cannot take strengths for granted. No, for granted. In fact, organization cannot take anything for granted, because while doing business they need to be utmost cautious. Similarly, in the external analysis, we have this opportunities and threats. Every organization spots an opportunities that is present, right? But visionaries spot an opportunity in the threat also. Now, that's the difference between a visionary and a normal leader. A normal leader or a normal chairman or a normal CEO, he spots an opportunity when the markets are doing good, when the economy is booming, when everything is very rosy, when everything is very good. All right. So when markets are rising, when the economy is doing good, the GDP numbers are increasing, that particular time spotting an opportunity, every Tom, Dick and Harry in the market can do as well. You don't need anything called as a business acumen, or you don't need anything called as an intuition, right? But in the face of a threat, in the face of the threat, if you can spot an opportunity, then you're called as a visionary. And one of the very rare qualities, very rare qualities which sets these visionaries apart from the other people, which makes these visionaries unique from the other set of leaders, is their intuition power. Intuition, intuition. Now, what do you mean by the word called intuition? Intuition is the ability to foresee into the future, right? Intuition is the ability to foresee in the future. So what happens is, because of the intuition power that this particular visionaries are blessed with, these people, in the face of adversity, in the face of a threat, the threat that is looming around, now they happen to look beyond the storm, they happen to look beyond the tunnel. For other people, now they only see the end of the tunnel. They see the rock and they say, we have reached the end of the tunnel. We got nowhere else to go. But this particular people, they see this particular business opportunities present beyond the tunnel. They see business opportunity present beyond that particular risk and threat. So their focus is not on the threat. When you focus on the threat, you cannot survive. Just like other organization, you'll perish. You cannot build great business empires. You cannot build an everlasting business empire. If you have to build an everlasting business, organizations like Tata's or General Electric, General Motors, like this big companies which have lasted more than 100 years, right? More than a century, and still are the leaders in their markets. We want to build such a business organizations. What we need is that the person who is in charge should have the intuition power. J.R.D. Tata had intuition power, right? He brought this particular, he made Tata's a part of in Indian life, and there he handed the baton, he handed his power and authority to Ratan Tata. Now, Ratan Tata, with his intuition, when everything was going bad around him, he did not look at just at the threat, he spotted the opportunities. Having spotted the opportunities, what he has done, he has made this organization from being a nationalist or Indian organization to a global organization. It's no longer Tata Tea, but it's Tata International Beverages, TIB. Right? Now it's no longer Tata Steel, it's Tata Chorus. Chorus is the new, new thing, joint venture. They happen to acquire this particular Chorus steel in France, and today Tata is exporting its steel to all parts of the world. They've got clients around the world, thanks to the acquisition of Chorus. Similarly, Tata Motors is not just confined to the Indian mainland. Now, Tata Motors has got international brands like JLR, Land Rover, and these particular brands and all. So they are doing extraordinarily good. Okay. So that's how this particular SWOT analysis. So SWOT analysis is not just like identifying your strength, weakness, opportunity, and threat. That every person can do. You don't need any business equipment, or you don't need any special knowledge to say that, right? By the name of the acronym, everyone else can do. Every Tom, Dick, and Harry in the market can do. Now, what the other people cannot do, what the visionaries can do, and what other people cannot do is find an opportunity, find an opportunity in a threat. Now, that's what other people cannot do. And second thing, the ability to turn your weakness into the strength. Ability to turn your weakness into the strength. Now, having turned your weakness into the strength, the ability to retain is. Now, that's what we call as a capability, right? Using your organizational ability, you are turning your weakness into the strength. Now, having turned the weakness into strength, you should retain that strength. You should not give it up. Now, tomorrow market conditions change. Tomorrow customers' tastes and preferences change. Tomorrow business practices change. So many things will change. Nothing is going to be permanent. Nothing is going to be fixed. But in spite of all these particular changes, if you still have the capacity to retain your strengths, that's what we call as a competitive capability. Organization capability is evident there. Organization capability is visible when you're able to retain your strengths for a longer period of time. All right. So that's where our SWOT analysis comes into picture. So like strength, we have already discussed, this can be tangible or this can be intangible. Now, strengths are the beneficial aspects of the organization or capabilities of an organization. It includes human competencies. A strength can be a HR, human resources or human capital can be a strength, production, process capabilities, finance, financial resources, marketing, products and services, customer goodwill, brand loyalty. So all of these particular things can be a strength. Okay, like a huge financial resource, broad product line, okay, committed employees or loyal employees, a strong brand, loyal customer base, a very strong balance sheet, unique technology. All of these particular things can be a strength for an organization. Similarly, weaknesses, right? Now, whatever can be a strength, if you don't put it well, it can turn into weakness, right? Okay, so huge debts can be a weakness. Where there is no employee loyalty, what happens? Employee turnover takes place. Now, employee turnover is a weakness. And where there is no vision, when we don't have a vision and mission, what happens? Decision making process can go extremely wrong. That can turn into a weakness. Your product range is not broad, it is low, it can be a weakness. And wasting of the raw materials can be a weakness. Brand does not have a full, it can be a weakness. No. So all of these particular things can be weaknesses to an organization. So what can be a strength can also be a weakness. Right? So if you have, see, now let us go back, connecting the strengths and weaknesses to our company capability. Let us go back there. What is our company capability? The company capability is the ability to transform the resource into a core competence. That is called as company capability. So every organization will have the same resources, right? It's not like that. Some organizations have resources like diamonds. Now some organizations have resources like copper. No, it's the same people, but your ability to attract the best people. Some organizations have that ability to attract the best people. Just because you do not have the ability, you cannot blame someone. Right? So organization has to look inwards into some time. Right? Now the working capital management is very efficient. That's why it's a strength. Your working capital management is inefficient. That is why it is a weakness. Right? Now to turn this particular working capital into efficient, now decrease the cycle time. Now don't have inventories for 250 days, 240 days, 180 days. Those days are gone. Now today we have concepts like just in time. Make use of those particular concepts. So when we use concepts like just in time and all, you're bringing this particular 240-day cycle or so on so into just 60-day cycle. At the maximum 120 days. from the day you bring the raw material into your plant, and by the time this particular raw material turns into cash, it's going to take maximum 120 days, or at the minimum time 60 days, right? 8 months time duration from the say January you're purchasing the raw material, is turning into cash in the month of August, and in between you're paying the interest, right? In between all these particular months you're paying the interest. Okay, so you're draining your resources there. You don't have the capability to use your resources properly. But when you have the capability to use your resources properly, when you bring the raw material to your plant in the month of January, you have the ability to turn it into cash in the month of April. Come April, you have the cash in your hand. The product is sold in the market. So develop such capabilities. Organizations have to develop such instant capabilities. And tomorrow, when you join organizations, when you start up your own business organizations, you need to have these sort of abilities. So that's what sets you apart from others. So what can be a strength can also be a weakness. Next is opportunities, right? Environmental scanning. The way you scan your environment or environment, it decides whether you're able to spot an opportunity, you're not able to spot an opportunity. Now, where does opportunities come from? Right? Opportunity is not something like that is planted. God has, just like in the Garden of Eden, God has planted certain trees and then told Adam and Eve, now you go survive eating those particular fruits. It doesn't happen in the real world like that. Right? Now, that's in the spiritual world. In the practical real world, it doesn't happen like that. Nobody is going to plant this particular fruits and all and then go ask you, okay, pick it up and then use this opportunity, expand your business. It doesn't happen that regularly. So here we need to have something called as business acumen, ACUMEN, right? ACUMEN. You need to have that sharp mind. You need to have those sharp senses. Your senses need to be that particular sharp, wherein you're able to spot an opportunity even in the face of the threat also. For many businesses, this pandemic called COVID-19 has spelled a death knell. For many businesses, when they say this particular COVID-19, okay, our businesses have died. Now we are no longer going to survive. Now there are businesses. Now you go to places, industrial places, especially towards the western part of India, places like Surat, places like Rajkot and Aurangabad in Maharashtra and these particular places. Once upon a time, they were bustling with migrant labor. These particular places were bustling with migrant labor, right? It's very difficult to get home. You have thousands of people, lakhs of people crowding these industrial estates, bustling with activity, lot of things going on, right? Now, with just 4 hour notice, our great Prime Minister said lockdown, right? At a time, we did not have even 500 cases also. We did not even have 500 corona cases in our country at that particular time. Giving just 4 hour notice, he said lockdown. And we have seen how millions of people have gone while by traveling on road. Some of them were traveling on the railway track, lost their lives when they were hit by this particular trains and all. Some of them collapsed reaching home. Many people lost their lives. The misery, the pain, the agony, we have seen it with our own eyes. Right? Now, today, in September first week, when business world has conducted a survey. So business world went to these particular places, they went to these particular places of Rajkot, Surat, Aurangabad, these particular places. Now today they have become ghost towns, right? Now what did they become? They transformed into ghost town, right? So there are no people. Owners have opened their factories. Owners have opened their mills. They open their shops and all. Now, what they don't have the customer. What they don't have the people to work. Right? Raw material is lying idle. Machines are lying idle. Okay, owner is there and few, this peon and all are there. The people who are going to work, those migrant workers, are nowhere to be seen. In spite of all these particular things happening, few factories are running. They spotted that few factories are running, and then they went and spoke to this particular factory people. Now, how is it that when remaining entire industrial estate in that particular entire industrial estate, most of them, they don't have the labor to work, the raw material lying idle, missions lying idle, no business activity taking place. How is it that you are able to manufacture? Now, where did this migrant labor come from? Did you lift them from their villages, or what is this magic? Right? What is this thing that you have done? How could you able to get labor for your work? Now, these people said when this adversity hit us, most of the other people, other leaders, they thought it's not their work. They thought, they did not give them wages. They did not give them money to go. They did not arrange transport for them to go. They did not keep in touch with them to go. Right. So here in his factory, where there are around 150 to 120 people, 130 to 150 people working. Now that particular owner told the business world when he was being interviewed by business world, he told the business world, you see, some of my employees wanted to go back home. When they wanted to go back home, I purchased their uh, travel tickets from Surat to their place in Maharashtra, from the Surat to their place in Bihar or in Madhya Pradesh. I arranged the transport facility. I paid for their particular transport. Having reached home, I called them whether they're having the enough money to buy ration for their home and all. Right, and then I ensured that I deposited an excess cash, whatever salaries or the extra advance salaries I have given, ensured that their families are taken care of for the coming 3 months or 4 months. And having done that, I did not call these particular people to come back and work. When I have done these particular things, that at a time when everybody else is losing jobs, everybody else was not coming, these people, because of the kindness and grace that happened to show, they themselves, they returned back. They said, we are not going to sit idle in our home. We will come back, we will work. From the third month onwards, our salary, after working from there, we will stand it. They came, now the factories are running. You see what made the difference? They spotted an opportunity even on a threat also. In the same industrial estate, we have tens of other organizations which have seen a threat, and then they said, no, that is the end point. There is nothing else that we can do. But these particular business people whose businesses are running today in these industrial towns, now they did not see COVID-19 or this particular pandemic as a reason. They are not blaming, they are not raising fingers. Modi sir did that, our CM Rupani has done so and so, our CM Thackeray has done so and so, right? Or COVID has done so. They are not pointing fingers or blaming anyone. They were very busy in coming out with alternative strategies. Now that's what is business, my dear friends. That's how business is being done. So turning even a threat into an opportunity, right? So here, that's what we need to understand. So now let's look at the advantages of SWOT analysis: strengths, weakness, opportunities, and threats. Now, the advantage of a SWOT analysis, it is a source of information. For planning strategically, we need information, and this information is provided by SWOT analysis. And at the same time, this SWOT analysis helps an organization build strengths, right? And as I told you previously earlier, it gives an organization the ability to transform, to reverse the weakness into strength, and at the same time maximize its response to an opportunities. When we spot an opportunity, make the best use of opportunity, exploit the opportunity to its full potential, and overcome organizational threats. When you face a threat, do not be disappointed. Now, in order to overcome the organizational threat, you need a unique personality, and that particular personality is being optimistic. You cannot be a pessimist. A pessimist can never be a successful business. A pessimist person can never become a role model CEO. A pessimistic persons can never build great companies. Great companies or good companies are being built only by optimistics. So we need to have that particular outlook of being optimistic. Similarly, SWOT analysis helps in identifying the core competences, right? So sometimes these core competences can be identified from weaknesses, and it helps in setting objectives for strategic planning. And finally, it helps in knowing the past, present, and the future so that you can chalk out your future courses of action using the past and the current data. So these are the advantages of our SWOT analysis. Now coming on to the limitations, now there are certain drawbacks. One major drawback of the SWOT analysis, most of the organizations do not have sufficient resources to carry out research and development testing. Now this is a major limitation, especially in our Indian companies. We do not invest money on research and development. We invest a lot of money on advertising. We invest a lot of money on distribution. We invest a lot of money on production and other activities. But when it comes to research and development, we always, sanction or we always allot peanuts, right? You allow a peanut. At least a groundnut should have been better than a peanut, right? But we don't do that. We allot only peanuts. As peanut is insufficient, very small amounts for research and development. Now, one area that needs to be seriously looked into, though now slowly things are changing. Now that in the last 20 years and in the last 15 years, India has become the hub for research and development. Most of the multinational companies have got their research and development labs in India because of the talent pool that we have. Okay, so here things are slowly starting to change. Next, quality products due to pure quality. Now, Indian products around the world are known to be third class products, right? But some companies, they have changed that. Now, today, many of you may not know a company by name Bharat Forge, right? Now, Bharat Forge is a very popular company in the international automobile circles. Every fourth vehicle in the world has got an axle manufactured by Bharat Forge. The clients of Bharat Forge are world's first diesel engine was manufactured by MAN. Now that's the acronym is in German letters, now difficult to pronounce, but it's M.A.N. Okay, so then they produce uh, uh, the world's first diesel engine. Those people are the clients. So Bharat Forge clients include all the big shots in the automobile industry: Toyota, General Motors, Fiat, Mazda, Nissan, all these particular big Volvo, Volkswagen. So for their buses as well as for their vehicles, now they use this particular okay they use this particular Bharat Forge uh, products. Now, Bharat Forge basically manufactures axles, front axle and rear axle. Now, that's also changing, right? Now, how here we have got a very interesting case. In case of this particular Bharat Forge, we have got a very interesting case. What happened is years back, uh, General Motors was profiling its suppliers. When it was profiling its particular suppliers, most of the other suppliers in the world, they were having Six Sigma certification, right? And these particular people did not have any certification. And then when Bharat Forge said, unless you have Six Sigma certification, we cannot, have you as a business partner. So they went for this particular certification. And when the professionals came and certified the production capacity, they said they're manufacturing at level 4, right? They were asking for Six Sigma. These people were manufacturing at Sigma level 4. So they said, since you are manufacturing at Sigma level 4, we are going to downgrade. Till that particular time, the rating given to Bharat Forge was AAA. That's the highest rating in the automobile industry, AAA. So from triple A, they brought this rating to single A, right? And then Bharat Forge then focused, stopped. What does Sigma Level 4 say? Sigma Level 4 says out of every 1 lakh axles they are manufacturing, out of every 1 lakh, 1 lakh they are manufacturing, the defect rate is 1,000, right? 1,000 axles are defective. So slowly they started working on that, brought it to Sigma Level 5. When they brought it to this particular Sigma Level 5, the defects were brought from 1,000 to 100, right? And then they brought it to finally to Six Sigma stage. When they reached the Sigma Level 6, out of 1 million, that is like 10 lakh axles they are manufacturing, out of 10 lakhs, only one defect. That's like almost zero defects. So it has taken Bharat Forge 9 months. It has taken Bharat Forge 9 months to transform from being a single grade supplier to triple A grade supplier. They moved from being good to excellent. They were good suppliers. Now they again retain their position as excellent suppliers, triple A rating in a span of 9 months. Now those days it was a very huge success story, right? A very huge success story. So faulty products due to poor quality, we are trying to change it around. Similarly, poor industrial relations. That's again one of the limitation here. Okay, organizations, they need to have a good industrial relations. The reason today after COVID-19, in the month of August and in the beginning of September, government said every business activity has to go on. Nothing can stop. So when government also gave a stimulus package, in spite of the stimulus package given by the government, and then they're trying to have this particular, business activities going on, most of the industrial estates are still, having, are still turning out into ghost towns. The reason they're turning into ghost towns is because of poor industrial relations. Had only the industrial relations been good, had only the industrial relations been good, now today we should not have had this particular problem of ghost town. You know what is the problem when we have this particular, when we don't have industrial activity taken care of? The first quarter result is minus 23.9, that is like minus 24% of our GDP. Q1 results of our GDP is minus 24%. Now that will only take time, all right? So the same situation continues. Industrial activity does not take off in our country. Now, when they declare the results next year, 2021 May or 2021 June, when the results are being declared, GDP results for 2021, we'll be still in the minus, right? And then see the uh, ever, I mean, in the last 20 years, the world has looked at India as a role model, right? Manmohan Singh, when he became the prime minister of a country, in spite of all his political weakness, in spite of being branded by the media, especially Godi media, in spite of being branded as the weakest prime minister of India, he has given us a GDP growth rate of an average 10% to 8%. 8% was the average GDP growth rate. So suddenly India, which was sitting somewhere in the fourth row or fifth row, now started sitting on the podium. Now we started sitting on the podium. So when Manmohan Singh handed over the economy, we were the fourth largest economy in the world, right? United States is the first, second is China, third is France, four is Germany, and then five we were the fifth largest, and then we became the fourth largest. And after by 2016, we became a $1 trillion economy, right? And then we had a goal also to become like $5 trillion economy, right? We had this particular goal. So we were inching and coming close to the third position. So we were going in that particular direction. So 2016 later on was, things started taking a very ugly shape, right? Initially it was this lockdown, and then GST has gone wrong, and now this particular COVID-19, situations practically wrong. Now, it takes a lot of time for us to again be in the center stage. And finally, lack of skilled and efficient labor, right? This again is a major area. We have got huge talent pool. India is blessed with huge talent pool, right? India is one of the youngest countries in the world. The average age of Indian is 24 years, right? So we are the youngest country in the world. We have got huge talent pool, right? But where are the jobs for millions? I mean, every year, millions of people are completing their graduation. Lakhs of people are completing their BTech qualification. Lakhs of people are completing their MBA qualification. So millions of people are entering into the job arena. But where are the jobs? In 2019-20, in that particular time, right, 2019-20, in that particular time, our unemployment rate was all-time high, 45 years low. The last time we had this particular unemployment rate was 45 years back. Right? And what is the government doing? Government is turning every business, public sector organizations, they are turning into private sector organizations. Public sector organizations create jobs, right? The beauty of government organizations is they not only create jobs, they create wealth, they create prosperity, right? They create wealth, they create prosperity. In the process of turning these government organizations into private organizations, see, government colleges, they pay like 1.5 lakh or 2 lakhs for a principal. Now private colleges, they pay them 15,000. Where is the comparison? Right? Same Indian Railways gives you lot of pays handsome salaries to their employees. Tomorrow we are starting private railways. Government has given permission for 28 or 29 railways to be run by private organizations. Now those particular employees will not be paid with their along with their government counterparts. You see this particular huge indifference over there, right? So in the last 3 years, especially from 2017 January 2017 January till now, 200 people, 200 million people have been thrust into poverty. Right now, 200 million people. We are talking about 20 crore population. 20 crore people have gone below the poverty line. Instead of pulling people above poverty line because of our economic crisis, because of this particular things happening, 20 crore people have been gone below poverty line. Since September, I mean, since July, from June, July, August, in the last 3 months, 2 crore people have lost jobs in India. 2 crore people. And these particular 2 crore people, we are talking in the organized sector. These 2 crore people are salaried employees who lost their jobs. So these are the limitations of our SWOT analysis. Tomorrow's class will start off with a new topic: strategies and competitive advantages in diversified companies and its evaluation. We got less than 30 seconds time, so I'm winding up my class here. So next week when we meet, we will start off with the new topic.